I abandoned my family because they deserved it? I walked out on my wife and 13-year-old daughter 6 days after discovering the affair. No warning, no explanation, just gone. It's been almost 6 months now, and I don't regret a single second. Our marriage seemed perfect. Plenty of intimacy, regular date nights, the whole picture-perfect family thing. I had no reason to suspect anything was wrong. Then came that Tuesday night. I came home late from a mandatory safety seminar around 11 p.m. Eve was asleep on the couch, TV still playing. Her phone lit up with a notification. Emojis I immediately recognized. A heart, a fire, a winking face. The exact combination I use when texting her. My stomach dropped. I picked up her phone and opened the messages. 5 months of affair messages with Adam, her coworker. I knew Adam from the company Christmas party. Nice guy, married with 3 kids. Reading those texts, something fundamental shifted in my brain instantly. 1 second I loved Eve more than anything. The next second I felt absolutely nothing. Just vast emptiness. Like someone flipped a switch and turned off every emotion. I took screenshots of everything and went to bed without waking her. The next morning Eve was furious about neck pain from sleeping on the couch. Blamed me for not waking her. I just stared while she talked. Her voice sounded muffled like I was underwater. At breakfast, Eve and my daughter Kaylee chatted about some school project. They laughed, passed the orange juice, completely engrossed. I sat right there at the table and they didn't acknowledge me once. Not a single glance. I went to work that day and the days after, going through normal motions. The only difference, I stopped talking. Maybe 3 or 4 words per day total. Nobody noticed. Not my wife, not my daughter, not my coworkers. I could have been a ghost and it wouldn't have made any difference to their lives. By day 3, I understood the horrible truth. They didn't actually love me. I was just there. A fixture in the house. The guy who paid the mortgage and fixed things when they broke. But as a person, completely invisible. Eve would come home talking about her day, never asking about mine. Kaylee would bounce in, grab snacks, talk at me about friends, then disappear to her room. They only looked at me when they needed something. Drive me to practice, pick up groceries, fix the garage door. 5 days of this. 5 days of feeling like I didn't exist in my own home. These waves of pain would hit me randomly while making coffee, driving to work, sitting next to them on the couch. The pain would be so intense I could barely breathe. Day 5, during dinner, Eve finally asked if something was wrong. I hadn't said more than 10 words all week. I just made a confused face and went back to eating. She seemed satisfied with that non-answer and continued chatting with Kaylee about some school event. Day 6, I didn't go to work. Called in sick and sat in my car in the driveway for an hour with no plan. Eventually I went inside and sat at the kitchen table. Just sat there in silence, waiting. Eve came home around 4 p.m. carrying grocery bags. Walked right past me into the kitchen. Immediately started talking about her day. Some story about a difficult client. A funny thing her coworker said. A sale at Target. She unpacked groceries with her back to me the entire time. Didn't look at me except one brief glance when she entered. Kaylee bounced in minutes later, dropped her backpack, joined Eve at the counter. They talked about items on sale, completely absorbed in their own world, both with their backs turned to me, both acting like I wasn't even in the room. I sat there watching them and something inside me shattered completely. All these memories flooded back. Birthday parties where they barely thanked me for gifts I spent weeks picking out. Vacations I planned entirely alone while they complained about minor inconveniences. Years of conversations where they talked at me, never with me. They never loved me. They probably never did. I was just an accessory to their perfect little life. The pain hit me like a physical force. Tears started streaming down my face. I was full on crying, sitting right there 10 feet away from them, and they still didn't notice, still didn't turn around, still didn't see me. The tears turned to rage, white-hot fury that consumed everything. I had a glass of water in front of me. I stood up and hurled it as hard as I could at the tile backsplash above the sink. It exploded. Glass shards everywhere. Water dripping down the walls. The sound was deafening in the quiet kitchen. They both froze. Slowly turned around. Saw my face. Tear-soaked. Contorted with rage. Barely recognizable. The kitchen went completely silent. Nobody moved. Nobody breathed. Finally, I spoke. My voice came out cold and flat. Eve, I know everything about your affair with Adam. Kaylee's head whipped toward her mother. What? Mom, is that true? I didn't wait for an answer. Turned around, walked out the front door, got in my car, and drove away. I haven't been back since.